What's up, lemons? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the vlog. So today we're doing a parts breakdown list on the Subaru, showing you what we bought for the Subaru STI, and basically everything that we're running and price wise, so you guys can see how much it actually costs to build this STI. Now, to give you a look, here's the motor. We just got it back from Outfront Motorsports down in California. Picked up a bunch of parts while I was there as well because there was really good deals. But this is everything in the room right now. I'm still waiting on a couple things to come in as well, but we're gonna go ahead and break down everything, show you cost wise and exactly what we're running. All right, so before we get started, I show you all the parts for the Subaru STI. I do want to say, one, it's gonna take a couple days for us to make the video just because I don't have all the parts that I need in just yet. Looks like I do have everything. To you guys possibly just because the room is full with parts already. But I am missing some miscellaneous things such as oil lines, fuel lines, gaskets, just little stuff like that. Got a couple sensors that I need to get as well. The second thing is that I did make some mistakes while purchasing some of the parts for the vehicle because I was sure of the build, but I wasn't 100% set on the exact route I wanted to take. For example, horsepower wise, I was set at one number. Now, almost at the end of it, I completely changed my power numbers, making me have to buy additional parts, supporting mods, this and that, getting extra things done. And I'll talk about that as well as soon as when I grab parts and show you as well, just because there's some specific parts that I have that I swapped over to either midway at the end of it or just, anytime during the build. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, to start, I'm gonna show you the parts that we have for the vehicle that we purchased. I'm gonna give you my price that I paid, and then I'm gonna give you the price that they are at retail, because a lot of the parts that I did get, I got discounted. Either one, because they were used in really good condition, or two, the places I found them at were just giving them away basically. So to start, what we have here is the Race Series Performance Oil Pump. Now, I needed one of these just because the OEM fuel pump, or excuse me, not fuel pump, OEM oil pump on the Subaru motor was no good. It had rotted out already, so needed to get one of these. Next, we have to get just, basic timing belt, stuff like that. The motor, I don't know when the last time it ran. I don't know when the last time that they switched out the belt was. So I had to go pick up one of these. And then with that as well, I did have to get a water pump because the same thing as the oil pump, this water pump was completely rotted out, rusted. It was basically almost seized onto the block. So definitely need to get one of those. All right, so the next thing on the list is going to be the Killer Bee oil pan, Killer Bee baffle, and then the Killer Bee oil pump. This is in the back because it's got a little bit of oil in it already. They do test their products to make sure that everything does work well. This is one of the parts that I did mess up on when I was purchasing, this set for the STI, just because I didn't buy all three of them together. I ended up actually buying the pickup and the baffle together, and then later on in the build, I bought this oil pan because I decided I was gonna need a better oil pan. This is better, one, because quality-wise, it's just really sturdy. You can definitely see the welds on it. Everything looks really nicely neat. And it does fit a lot better than the OEM when compared to running better headers and stuff like that. The other thing is that this holds 30% more oil compared to the OEM one, so it's about 1.4 quarts more of oil that's going to be holding, which is going to help with oil flow, keeping the motor lubricated so we don't blow it, because I do not want to blow this motor after all the work that we just put into it due to the fact that we have no oil. If I blew it because of a power reason, I was just having fun, then that's my fault. But if it's gonna be from oil, I definitely don't want to deal with that. Now, this is what I paid. This is how much it costs retail-wise if you do buy all three of them. And because I didn't buy all three at the same exact time, I did lose out on some money. And it's okay because I still have the product and it's not, back order like some of the other stuff that I did order. So we're gonna move on to the next. Now, next on the list, because of the power reasons, we definitely need a high flow of gas to the motor. So we went ahead and bought this, which is a Radium dual pump hanger. Now, I got this really good deal, same place where I picked up the motor. They had a couple parts in stock that I did need, and they helped me out price-wise just because they're really cool people. Spent a lot on the block getting that done. Now, to combat this, we definitely need two pumps. So we got 2 AEM high flow pumps that does support E85. If I do decide to go E85, I'm still on the fence about it. Later on in this video, you might see there's an E85 flex fuel kit. If there's not, then I haven't decided to go flex fuel. But we got, again, 2 AEM high flow pumps and then this radium dual hanger, so we can definitely push as much gas as we need to the engine. Alright, so continuing on with fuel, we picked up some ID 1050cc injectors. With that, we also had to get these P&P adapters so we can actually run the aftermarket injectors. The cool thing with this kit as well is that it did come with a top feed fuel rail because I did decide to go from side feed to top feed. Now, with that, I did have to buy the top feed conversion kit in order to run those top feed fuel rails. With that, we also went ahead and got the Aeromotive A100 fuel pressure regulator, so we can actually make sure that these new injectors are getting enough fuel pressure and actual fuel into the injector so we can actually run the vehicle properly. So that's that. Moving on, we picked up this IAG AOS. I don't want to take it out of the bag just because there's still some oil left in there. This was a used product, but it did definitely save us quite a bit of money as well. I did have to pick this up because it's an essential when building the motor. I want to make sure that we have everything properly set. Alright, so next up we have the Koyo radiator as well as the Mishimoto radiator hoses. Now, obviously we're going to need a new radiator just because the OEM one's not going to support cooling down and make sure the engine's not going to overheat. So we had to get a thicker one, and then I just went with these hoses from Mishimoto as well just because of the green. I'm trying to do everything accent color wise, this neon green, neon yellow, so that's why we went ahead and picked these ones up. Alright, so we have these IAG TGB deletes. These are super nice. I believe they've never been ran. The person that I bought them from, I believe he said that he never used them. He just bought them, decided that he wasn't going to be using them, so he went ahead and sold them to me. Now, with these as well, he did throw in these, I believe they're called phenolic spacers, which is pretty cool as well. It's just going to help us with putting the motor back together and getting all the parts to fit right. Again, pretty good deal. They were basically brand new, so it saved me quite a bit of money on that, so that was definitely a good find. So here's a part that I wasn't sure I was actually going to really be buying. I was just scrolling through one of the marketplaces and I found this for sale for a pretty good price compared to brand new. This does look brand new as well. The guy said that he used it for about 2,000 to 3,000 miles and then sold his vehicle, so he obviously didn't have a use for it anymore. Now, this is a TBW skid plate, and it goes underneath the front of the bumper, and it goes all the way back to the oil pan to protect the oil pan from anything that flings up, or if you're super low, stanced out. It's going to help protect your oil pan from scraping on the ground and busting open. Again, didn't think I was going to be buying this, but since I saw it, I just decided to go ahead and grab it because we're doing a rally build and I'm going to be taking it off-roading into the dirt and the rocks and stuff like that. So protecting this oil pan that we got, that Killer Bee oil pan, is definitely going to be a must. So it was cool that we found this part. Alright, so now we're moving on to some pretty good parts. It's pretty expensive, one of the most expensive out of the whole set that we bought, or out of all the parts that we bought for the vehicle. This is going to be an ETS front mount intercooler. Now, I bought the piping for a standard turbo setup, and then I decided to change my turbo setup, so I'm going to have to fabricate some of the piping to fit for the new turbo. But again, bought this one brand new. I didn't want to go with the used one just because I wanted to make sure that all the fins were good, everything was just properly done. So we just went ahead and picked this one up, and it came pretty fast, which was pretty nice. So that's it for the intercooler. Now, this is one of my favorite pieces of the whole build. This is the Tomei single exit catback exhaust. Now, if you've seen any of my other videos with the Subaru WRX hatchback, you know that we ran this exhaust on that as well. I love the sound that it produces. It's super lightweight compared to the OEM catback. And then overall, the pricing that I got on this was incredible. It was basically a steal because it is brand new. It's never been used, never been opened until now. So I could not pass this up. And again, the sound of this thing is amazing. So I have to run it on the 04 STI. But just look at the color on it. This thing, it speaks for itself. I don't know what else to say. Now, I would say this is one of the most important things that we did for the Subaru STI. We sent out the short block to Outfront Motorsports down in Buena Park, California to get the cylinders bored out to 99.75 millimeters. They did a honing on it, as well as they did a closed deck for us. They did a super nice job. Everything looks really good, and they did it pretty quickly as well. I believe it took them about 5 to 6 weeks to get everything completed. Now, while the block was there, I also brought them my Wiseco boost line connecting rods and asked if they could get those installed because they had some JE pistons on hand that I could not find anywhere, especially after doing the bore out. I wanted to make sure that everything was perfect. So they had those on hand, and they reassembled the short block for me. So connecting rods, they did the pistons for me. They did all the gappings on the rings and everything like that. I did mess up as far as I forgot to bring them my crankshaft that I got for a really good price from Subaru. So they had to charge me for the new one, and then I have to return the other one that I got. So I lost a little bit of money there, but I made most of it back. So other than that, they did a really good job. So shout out to Outfront Motorsports. All right, so what we have here is probably one of the hardest decisions I've had to make for the 04 STI. And I say that because these are Killer B Holy headers, and these are equal length headers. What comes stock on the STI and the WRXs are going to be unequal length headers, and you get that Subaru rumble that everyone loves and everyone knows. Now with equal length headers, you're not going to get that noise just because you don't have air bouncing back and forth. Everything is just free flowing and connects at the same exact time, getting back into the exhaust out of the manifold. So with that, I got these for a really good price, so I could not pass them up because one, it took me quite a while to find these. I was actually going to buy these used from someone on one of the marketplaces, and it was just about the same price that it was going to be brand new, well, compared to what I bought them for brand new. Originally, I believe these are $1,400. I was going to spend $1,100 on used ones, and then I picked these up for however much it says here. I don't remember. But they are super nice, very easy to install from what I've heard, and they fit really well with the Killer B oil pan as well. Everything just connects really well, so it's easy installation, gives us more torque, gives us better airflow so our turbo spools faster, and just overall it's really good quality, and we shouldn't have any problem with these while we're running it. All right, to support all the power we're going to be pushing to the STI, we had to pick up this ACT SB10 HD SS clutch. Everything is super nicely packaged. Everything's put together really good, and just look at the whole clutch itself. This thing looks amazing. I'm excited to get this thing into the car and see how it feels. It also comes with the flywheel, which I was going to be using the original flywheel that we had, but since this comes with it, we're just going to be running this ACT flywheel as well. Now, we got this for a really good price. While we were actually in California, there's quite a bit of places that were selling them, and we picked this one up for a pretty nice price. So we needed it anyways. The fact that it was available just helps out a lot more, saving us quite a bit of time and money. Alright guys, so to make sure that we're running all the boosts and everything like that properly, we went ahead and got these AEM Performance X Series gauges. Now, one of them is this one, it's the heaviest one. This is the air fuel ratio gauge. This one here is probably the boost gauge, and then this one here is going to be the oil pressure gauge as well. So we just want to make sure that, you know, we're running the right oil pressure so we don't blow a rod or spin a bearing. Make sure that air fuel ratio is proper so we're not, you know, running lean or running too rich. And then we want to make sure that our boost gauge is there so we can actually see how much boost we're running so we don't actually blow the motor too. So yeah, with that, I went ahead and bought a boost gauge cluster as well. Carbon fiber, had to do it. I was really debating on which design I wanted. I was thinking to do the side pillar, this, or even a combination of both, or even just on the dash display right above the steering wheel. I was thinking of getting those as well, but I decided to do the gauge cluster in the middle on the dash just because I wanted to be kind of a sneak way, you know what I mean? I didn't want them on the side pillars, so anyone who pulls up next to me can see the boost gauges. I wanted them to be kind of hidden so we can mess around with people. But yeah, pretty nice setup that I got there. Pretty excited as well. I got these boost gauges at a really good price. So I was happy with that, and then I had to go with the carbon fiber just because I gotta make it look nice.